Hey guys, it's Shawn. We're going to be talking about dealing with upset customers, dealing with the situation, and then also managing risk. Now, this may seem like a strange topic for a channel that mainly focuses on business law. Why are we talking about upset customers and managing our business and really taking the edge off with the customers? I'll tell you why. Because upset customers lead to risk for the business, potential litigation, potential problems. So we'll be talking about how to assess the situation, how to get in deeper, how to be just a good business. But that's also going to tie into good legal strategy, because dealing with the upset customer early and dealing with it in some ways we're going to talk about is really going to then in turn help you manage that risk, and potentially, hopefully, lower both your legal bill paid to your lawyer, but then also manage your exposure as far as litigation or potential judgments or damage claims. So let's jump into it. We will be talking about some legal stuff. This is not legal advice. Please consult your legal advisor. This is for education and entertainment, give you some good business ideas to help you along, but do run it by your lawyer. Also, not financial or investment advice. All right, don't focus on the risk first. This is where I think a lot of people get confused, right? As soon as they have an upset customer, particularly in a non-retail situation. In a retail situation, you're going to expect it, right? You're doing retail products. You're going to have somebody get upset. Something wasn't of the quality they thought, something broke too soon, a piece of clothing got discolored when they washed it the first time. It's just part of the game. We're talking, and a lot of times, clients in professional services area, higher ticket items, they can get an upset customer, and the first thing is risk. What does this mean to me? Could this, could this hurt my business in the future? Could my reputation be damaged? Will it destroy other customer relationships? So I want you to take your mind off the risk for a minute. Things we're going to talk about are going to work to manage the risk. They are going to put you in a lower risk profile, but we need to not be in a defensive mode. We're going to talk about risk later, and it is certainly appropriate, but don't focus on risk first. And join me in the comments if you're the type of person who thinks about risk before everything else. Do comment below and tell me why that is. And of course, don't put anything confidential in here, because YouTube comments are public. Other people will see it. I want you to start by thinking about the relationship. What is the relationship between you and the upset customer? What is the history? How did you get here? And then also, why are they so upset? What happened? What transpired that caused this rupture? Right? Did you not meet an expectation? Was a contract unclear? Was a contract not understood? A lot of times there's some kind of fundamental friction that is causing us to get to the point where things have gotten to where they're upset. Obviously, if the expectations were clear, the expectations were mutual, everything was in alignment, we wouldn't be in a situation with an upset customer, right? We'd be in a situation where they'd be happy, or they would understand under their contract they weren't entitled to certain services or deliveries maybe they think they're entitled to. So there's something in that relationship that's causing the disconnect, and I want you to reflect on that for a minute in a very cool way, right? Try to take the emotion out of it. Sometimes when I am in a situation now that I'm a little more experienced, what I try to do is remove myself from the situation and almost kind of be an outside viewer of what's happening to try to control the interaction a little more. I want you to think about that. Try to be objective, even though you're in the middle of this, right? You're probably one of the key players in the disagreement. Take yourself out of the situation a little bit. Take a step back and think about, how would that other person feel or think without bringing your own defensiveness or emotion into it. So think about the overall relationship. And then I want you to listen to the upset customer and take notes. And this can be hard because a lot of business owners want to then start an argument, right? Back and forth, back and forth. You said this. Well, I said that. No, I disagree. Don't do that. Just listen for the first cycle of this. Let them put their side of the story out. Even if you disagree, just listen and take notes. This is a important way to diffuse a lot, because upset people will want to vent. They want to be heard. A lot of times we have ongoing disagreements is people just don't feel like they were fully heard, right? They make a complaint and it's immediately hit with defensiveness. Then they make a complaint and it's hit with defensiveness. And they don't want that. They want to be able to express themselves to fully get things out on the table. So listen, take notes, be calm, just collect their side of the story. Additionally, this is a very powerful tool for your lawyer as an aside. We're not thinking about risk, we're not thinking about litigation at this point. But for your lawyer, if you can do this calmly and take the notes and collect the other side's story, this is going to be a very powerful tool in the negotiation and litigation process. Very few times does a business owner who's in a dispute with a customer get a very calm and level-headed understanding of the customer's issues. Taking that to your lawyer, in turn, is going to allow that lawyer to craft a defense, craft a strategy. So listen, take the notes. Then I want you to confirm your understanding. After you've listened and taken the notes, I want you to go back over the story, not from your perspective, but from their perspective. You can be very careful about this. What I heard you say was, I think you thought that, right? So you want to then put that back on them with their understanding, right? And you're going to confirm what they said, confirm you understand. Again, you're not conceding, you're not agreeing. Be careful about your wording here. You don't have to be super careful. Just be clear. What I heard you say is, and what I think you believe is, right? Don't make these your statements. Make it a repetition of their statements. I am confirming understanding, you're not necessarily agreeing to it. I want you to get through that process as well and clarify those notes. Because again, if you clarify their understanding, if you clarify what they're complaining about, you're building a very powerful tool to resolve the dispute sooner than later. But if you do end up in litigation or some other dispute resolution later, that information will be powerful. Here's where a lot of people also miss a very powerful tool. I want you to acknowledge their feelings. After you've listened to what they said, and after you confirm your understanding, now's a great time to acknowledge them and to say, I understand that you feel frustrated. I understand that you're upset, right? That's just acknowledging their feelings. You're not agreeing with their feelings. You're just acknowledging their feelings. This is a very powerful tool to put the other person at ease. And it may help them ease and calm, right? You'll often hear a person take a deep breath when you acknowledge their feelings. They'll say, yes, I am frustrated, or yes, I'm upset, or I've been trying to tell people about this, right? So that takes a lot of the edge off, because that's really where we need to get to. We need to get to a better state so that we can get to a resolution. Keeping everything in a high, emotionally driven period is usually going to end up in litigation. And I'll tell you, that's litigation is necessary sometimes. It is a tool. Sometimes it's the only way to get a dispute handled. But if we can keep things calm, if we can keep things level-headed, if we can keep things out of the court system and out of the arbitration system or wherever it might end up at, that's really going to help you keep your costs down and keep you focused on your business. So it's a good outcome. But sometimes just these little things of how we handle the dispute at the start will make a big difference. Comment below if you've been through this before. Maybe you have some experience with this you can share with us. Obviously, don't comment anything confidential, but do join us in the comments with your thoughts and ideas. And then I want you to move on to co-creating a solution. What is your customer so upset about? Is it something simple and easy? Can you, at low cost, fix the issue, right? If they're upset about something minor that would be inexpensive and not time consuming to fix, obviously the easiest thing is not to fall back on your legal rights and to focus on what you may or may not owe them, but to just get it over with, right? And to put them at ease and calm them down. What we're trying to do generally is avoid going into expensive litigation, arbitration, other dispute resolution. We want to avoid that if possible, but we also want to try to keep this customer from going ballistic, right? We don't want bad reviews. We don't want them running around saying bad things to other people. We want to do everything we can to diffuse it. That's just smart business and smart money, if appropriate in the situation. So what is a solution they would be happy with that you can live with? And I want you to think about that. And then, unfortunately, part of that, you want to think about your costs of fighting it and litigating as well. And then you want to involve your lawyers as appropriate. Obviously, if the other person's threatening litigation, if they're delivering legal paperwork for litigation, you certainly are at a time where you want to get a lawyer involved. If it's substantial and meaningful to your business, you may want to get settlement agreements signed. You may want to consider if this is happening routinely. Maybe you are in a higher end retail situation. You want to think about what can you do to manage this process, to get them to sign off on a settlement so that this issue doesn't come back again. How can you appropriately manage the situation? So while you're probably going to be on the front lines working directly with your customer, you can talk about how to involve lawyers, talk with your lawyer offline about what they can do to help you manage the process and hopefully keep the costs down, avoid litigation, and keep things going. Let's bring this all together here. Upset customers are a risk to our business, but we don't want to focus on just the risk. We want to focus on the resolution. We want to focus on the relationship, and we want to focus on our overall cost. That often means swallowing our pride a little bit, listening, collecting information, and trying to be objective about things rather than being emotionally involved ourselves. You can't really control the emotional involvement of your customer, though if you use some of the strategies here, you can probably lower the level of emotional involvement of your customer. Can't control that. What you can control is how you handle the situation, how you respond, and how you manage it. So great opportunities here to really do a lot to help your business along, to help your business reputation, but also to lower that legal bill and risk if you do it right. So, folks, hope that's helpful to you. We look forward to reading your comments. Please don't put anything confidential down there, but I do look forward to joining you there. Also, please subscribe and ring the bell for notification if you enjoyed this. Share it, tell your friends, and give this video a like. I'll catch you soon. Look forward to chatting with you, folks.